It's July 22nd, 2022. Just one day out of the hospital, follow up with the blood transfusions for my chronic anemia going so viciously, dangerously, whatever, that all of a sudden I needed to go in. So now I'm watching this breaking news with President Joe Biden contracting COVID, and I'm watching the media circus, not he directly, this new person that he put at the podium, and the seated people from the press. And it says special report, White House briefing on President Biden's condition as he recovers from COVID at White House level. Yet the two people involved in this conversation are not family members of the past and presidencies for this notorious region. So that gets confusing, all these newbies allowed into the process. I mean, isn't there like an old saying, the fastest way to lose your government potency is to let foreign bodies into the family business? Just curious. So I'm watching it, and they say that they're reporting on behalf of the White House. Now, there used to be something called the WHO, the White House Organization. Is that who the WHO is? Who's who? I'm just curious. Because now they're reporting as CDC guidelines. I'm like, now, is that China and Canada's decision that they made without North America, like, knowing in totality of what's going on? I'm just curious, because there's two C's, and I'm like, well, I don't know where those two C's come from, but the decision ping pong back and forth, and like, it's really, I mean, and then there's the cholesterol, like, diversity and like how it affects things. I mean, like, again, there's strategies everywhere. It really is bothersome. But now this mixed degregate population that is no longer traditionally North American, who is traditionally for decades or even century at this point, more than one century, in charge and involved. Some of us still have the family nose. Some of us still have the family ears. Some of us know we're related to past presidents, and we have very deep roots in this country and whatever, are thoroughly annoyed to see the visual office change and the participants. And it just so happens to time up with this really, like, my grandfather did not need cholesterol medicine and was healthy-ish until he got to North America, and then lived to 84. My father had to take cholesterol medicine. It seems like this escalating concern that I have, that I'm cognizant of, with all of these very real changes going on, and they no longer mention NIH with anything that maybe is like a past participle by marriage, like a Anthony Fauci, because I don't know what his bloodline, where that lies in the NEG category. However, I look at clear visible signs that the WHO is no longer being run by the stability that people have come to expect for several centuries, inside and out, instability factor, and factory and gardening and keeping neat and tidy. So now this is concerning, because it also is happening around the same time, where all of these biological effects seem to be plaguing the public. And they seem to be all like, I mean, like, there's a lot going on inside this Democratic Party. Yesterday, I couldn't find it when I went back to it. I guess they took it off of whatever segment I had taped. But it said that the Democratic National Convention was considering New York City or Milwaukee. There were two other places, but didn't seem like that was going to be the thing. And I'm like, and then I looked at the face of who was representing the Democratic National Party, and I'm like, wow, again, for centuries, it's looked familial. Now all of a sudden, there's some hostile takeover, and there's other representatives trying to, the reputation was built by Teddy Roosevelt and other historic Democrats in the White House. I don't understand how that lead in history is just being forgotten, and now they're just letting anyone in. Again, gets really confusing. But here we are. This is what it looks like. And I'm like, so when exactly did it go from the who's who at the WHO White House organization to the CDC, where nobody knows what it stands for? Centers for Disease Control? Right, yeah. Is that the global operation that Canada and China put together with only special people attending their schools? I wasn't one of them, so I'm just curious at world leaders.
The White House Medical Unit has identified and informed 17 people determined to be close contacts of the president, including members of his senior staff. None of the staff members have tested positive to date, and all of them are wearing masks.
I mean, there used to be a family reputation to uphold. There used to be standards and guidelines and really important stuff that people really came. I mean, big symbolic gestures. Yeah. There was a look that they had. There was you knew who to yell at and throw tomatoes at if you were upset. But then there was some inner squabble always. But now, it's just who is running the show? I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Around other people per CDC guidelines. No members of the press have been identified as close contact as well. And this also includes the member of Congress that he traveled with recently.
And I just want to triple clarify the testing dates, because if yesterday was day 0, today's obviously day 1, Tuesday would be day 5. So does that mean he won't be tested until day 6?
And then, the CDC steps in their rep, because that's not the NIH guy for the who's who. So again, it gets really confusing. Where are these bioengineered, systematic and calendar-timed events and pandemics coming from? Well, let's just see. Who are you all sharing the podium to? And why did you just hand it over?
And if he's negative on Wednesday, then he could resume in-person activities. Is that the timeline we should be understanding?
Yeah, so we're going to, obviously, the CDC guidelines, right, are 5 days of isolation. He will do that. For those 5 days of isolation, he will.
Makes this area look like they are just pin cushions to whoever the powers that are changing keep making things. Instead of having standard of care, standard expectations, and then knowing who, without a shadow of a doubt, to pursue if things go wrong. Now all of a sudden it's just caution to the wind. Everybody's getting hurt. It's really frightening.
After he's completed his 5 days of isolation, and once he tests negative, he will return to work.
So he'll be first tested next on Wednesday.
Yeah, again, I haven't done the math, but yes, he's going to do 5 full days of isolation. Today's day 1. Yesterday was day 0. and he'll get tested after day 5. And then, if again, the moment that he turns negative, he'll return to work.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt that is Rh positive. So why, when that can kill me with its blood, and it serves no purpose in surrounding me as protection. I can't take any organs. If he tries to donate one to me, I can't take a blood transfusion from so-and-so. So why is the health of the nation and the country coming from something that could very well kill and has no donations that are acceptable for the families of the past presidents and their children and descendants and so on and so forth? Just curious, because why would anybody surround themselves with people that could kill them and serve no purpose? Because if an emergency strikes, they can't donate organs to help out to save the lives of the whatever, and their blood would absolutely intoxify and kill. So again, I don't quite understand how this mentality of like opening the system up to things that serve no purpose, to the existential health, safety, and well-being of what was here and managing for centuries just fine without their help and without their arrival. Just a little curious how now there's things posing as even bigger threats and nobody seems to be like sticking up or saving the public from this certain threat. And I don't know if it's just because the local doctors, just like with myself, nobody alerted me that Jason Peter Romer, 1976, that the fact that he got me pregnant could kill me until it was too late. And then the baby was already on its way. These were not choices I was given or that I made. I was set to marry someone else, and somebody kept that someone else away and forced these issues, which I never agreed to.
And you guys both talked a lot about, obviously, the message from the president being get vaccinated at this time, but you also mentioned just how extremely contagious this variant is. So why not do additional mitigation, encouraging additional mitigation measures like mask wearing indoors or other
You mean in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did a COVID briefing, I don't know, about a week ago, in which we laid out our 2-pronged strategy. I actually think I did it yesterday, where I said 2-pronged strategy, 1 to prevent serious illness, 1 to prevent infections. So in terms of mitigation, very, very clear. Cdc guidelines on this very clear. If you're in one of the orange zones, people indoor spaces should be wearing a mask. It's a great way to prevent getting infected. It's a great way of preventing spread.
What are these zones? I watch the news every night. They don't speak about zones. And so again, these newcomers and their infectious disease and plagues that they're bringing upon the people and trying to act like the hero, but it's really not. Same time, thermonuclear dynamics is going on in cellular, mobile, and internet space of some kind of telefonica mixed with this heat horizon of really dangerous solar flare level of UV and gamma and all sorts of stuff that nobody at my level's talking about, that like in my day-to-day, I can't even get Linda to buy bottled water at this point, which is really frightening, even though I've been to the hospital and it is a very real possibility. They're just not mentally prepared. I don't know why. I arrived to them this way. It's been a real problem my entire life, of years of silence and nothing added or contributed, saying that I should look out, I should be careful, I should do this, I should do that. None of that. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.